The front door of the old Marwick house creaked open, revealing the dim interior swathed in dust and cobwebs. No one could remember the last time anyone lived there, but the smell of damp wood and the tinge of mold coated every surface, almost welcoming in its own stale way. As Melanie stepped inside, she brushed her fingers across the faded floral wallpaper, its once vibrant colors muted by time. The family, eager for a fresh start, set to work unpacking their boxes, filling the empty rooms with laughter. But the laughter grew softer, almost hesitant, as night after night, Melanie found herself drawn to the peculiar television in the corner of the living room. Its screen flickered sporadically as if struggle streamed through the airwaves, static crackling like distant thunder. In the evenings, while their husband Jeff and son Ben plopped on the couch, engrossed in a game, Melanie would gaze closer at the television, entranced. It pulsated with an odd energy, waves of sound distorting normal chatter into whispers she couldn't quite decipher. And always, just as she thought she could grasp the message, the static would crash back into echoing silence, leaving her unsettled. Days turned into weeks, and the house seemed to shift around them. Shadows lingered too long, only to dart away when they were noticed. And the smell of something burnt, yet strangely sweet, began to waft through the hallways, binding eerily with the scent of decay. While cleaning one afternoon, Melanie caught sight of something out of the corner of her eye, a large handprint smeared on a dust-covered window, its outline impossibly large and unlike that of any family member. "Why don't we ever see the neighbors?" she asked Jeff one night, her voice tinged with concern. He shrugged, turning down the volume on the television. A deep frown creased across his forehead. The following Sunday, a storm rolled in, dark clouds swirling like a whirlpool above the house. There was something oppressive about the air, a weight that pressed down on their shoulders. Melanie paced through the rooms, her heart racing in rhythm with the incessant drumming of rain against the windows. She could hear whispers again, clearer this time, wrapping around her thoughts, promising secrets, urging her to listen. Driven by an invisible pull, she found herself standing before the television. The screen flickered furiously, then settled into an image of a family gathered around a table, a feasting, joyous affair beneath the same old floral wallpaper. But something was deeply wrong. The faces were too stretched, their smiles too wide, eyes glinting with an unsettling hunger as they beckoned her to join. I can help you," she muttered, crushing her fear under her pounding pulse. As if responding, the static grew louder, a cacophony of distorted voices chanting an ancient phrase, one that rolled like thunder across the room. In that moment, the air around her ruptured with cold. A sharp chill slithered down her spine, and the comforting space of their new home twisted into something grotesque. She stumbled back, gasping as shadows congealed in the corners of her vision. Staticky whispers morphed into a wailing howl that drowned out her thoughts. It was the family, their faces contorted, reaching for her, crying out in torment. Melanie slammed her palms against her ears, forcefully turning away. She burst from the room, drawing Jeff and Ben away from their game as they watched her, wide-eyed. "We need to leave now," she shouted, her breath hitching on the edge of panic. But it was too late. The door that had welcomed them swung shut with a bang. The light flickered, plunging them into darkness, where the whispers became a deafening chant that twisted the air around them. "Remember the rule." The voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, a sinister echo turning the very foundation of the house against them. In a final moment of desperation, Melanie dashed for the window. She pushed it open, gripping the frame tightly against the converging shadows. "We can't stay. We broke the rule." She turned to see Jeff and Ben staring blankly as if suspended in time, their faces frozen in confusion. As the darkness pressed in, a scream broke through, raw and desperate. The whispers coiled tighter, and in one sharp, stinging moment the house seemed to inhale, ready to take them. But Melanie, a flicker of defiance in her eyes, leaped through the open window and into the tumult of the night outside. With the tumultuous storm howling around her, she hit the ground with a thud, gasping for breath, while the weight of the house fell silent behind her. Tremors shook the ground, and she turned to see the Marwick house fade into the chaos of rain and wind, a dark silhouette against the shrieking sky, clutching a family that would never be seen again. In the end, the house remained, standing sentinel over its secrets, waiting for the next family to cross its threshold and unconsciously break the unyielding rule that bound it to an eternity of whispers. For those who enter may find that escape will demand a price far greater than they ever imagined.